Hey guys, I'm the Burke and I do things, and today's video is going to be, I'm not really sure, I'm kind of filming this one impromptu. I feel like I plan out a lot of videos and then I get too in my head to film them, so I figured I was just going to film right now like my current makeup routine that I do. I think the last time I filmed one of these, it was in the summer, and my style of makeup from like summertime to winter is usually very different, so I thought I'd show you what I've been doing kind of as my really quick makeup look. Well, it's not like quick, but it's like a routine, so like I can do it quickly since I know like what I'm doing and I don't have to really think about it. It's a lot of like older products, so maybe this will inspire you to reach into your collections. There's definitely a lot of products in here that I am actively trying to pan while I'm using them. If you missed out, my last video would have been all the makeup I used up in the year 2021, so I'm already focusing on 2022's version of that. I also figured at this point, I mean, I'm filming this January 2nd. I don't know when it's going up, but I'm about 1 year postpartum, and I thought maybe I could sum up some of my views in this video if I get to that, because it's been quite a year. But yeah, if that sounds like something you guys are interested in watching today, then keep on watching. Let's go. So if you did catch that video, one of my most successful categories last year was primers, and I feel like I want to keep going on that momentum working through primers because I do like primers, but I definitely have way too many in my collection. So I feel like in that video mention that this is the one I'm currently using, the Essence Fresh and Fit Awake Primer. This is actually a really nice primer because it's glowy, but it's a little bit more thick. It does say it's pore minimizing, but I just think it's like a little bit more like, I don't want to say it's blurring, but it definitely helps prep the skin in my opinion. That being said, I'm pretty sure this one was discontinued because all good things must end, I suppose. Speaking of, so Phoebe is going through what I've learned is the 12-month sleep regression, which has been quite the experience. Did not grab a towel. I will be right back. Like I was saying, 12-month sleep regression, where it seems like the last 4 nights now, it's been a different 2-hour window every night. She's been awake during it, and it's been quite interesting. Where was I going with this? Oh, last night she let us watch a movie. We got to watch Shang-Chi finally, so now I'm only 2 Marvel movies behind now. I really enjoyed Shang-Chi. I do know that I think on the 9th of January, Eternals is going to be released on Disney+, so hopefully we'll get to watch that one next week. This is just like a super crazy week though coming up. Oh, I continued on without telling you what I'm doing. So I also mentioned in that video, these are the 2 concealers I've been using, the NYX Born to Glow and the JCat Stay Assurance. One is too light, one is too dark, so I mix them together. But this week coming up is really, really hectic. I have some stuff going on with family, which is just, it's a lot. But on top of that, Tuesday is Phoebe's birthday. So, you know, we're excited to just like spend the day with her. We have presents and stuff that hopefully we can spend the day playing with, because we got her like a lot of fun stuff, and I think she's gonna be excited to play. But Wednesday I have to go to the DMV, which is like, who actually wants to go to the DMV? Because I need to renew my license, which that's already a pain in the butt as it is. But I also need to actually get them to change my name on my license because it still says my maiden name. For those wondering, Berkowitz used to be my maiden name, which is why I'm the Burke. That's like its own process in itself too that I have to do as well. So I have no idea how long it's gonna take. And then Thursday, she has her egg allergy test, which I'm pretty sure is a blood test, which I'm very stressed out about. I'm not really familiar with anyone who's had to have a blood test on their baby, but I'm very scared. I mean, I am very sensitive and easily triggered. I mean, it took quite a few doctor's appointments for me to kind of get used to regular shots, so I'm not really sure how we're gonna do with a blood test. So for foundation, I'm gonna be mixing my Fenty Beauty, what is this called? The Ease Drop, and then my L'Oreal Pro Glow, too light, too dark. Mixing them together. And then on Saturday I have her first birthday party, which, you know, I feel like we're all on the same page where we just all want COVID to go away. It's just, I feel like I could only invite, you know, our immediate family and our grandparents, and it would have been so nice to invite like mine and Scott's like families, our cousins, our aunts and uncles and stuff like that, but like, first of all, we don't have the biggest house in the world, and it's January, so you can't really use like outside as part of the seating arrangement for a party. But on top of that, like, I have a bunch of friends who have kids that are Phoebe's age, and Phoebe's never really like played with kids before, so I really wish she could play with kids, but I don't know what to do. I really don't know. And there's like not like a rule book for this, like your baby was born in the middle of a global pandemic, this is how you assess the situation properly. I mean, she can't get vaccinated. So like, and it doesn't seem like that's coming anytime soon. So it's very frustrating. I'm just gonna throw in some lip balm. This is the NARS Orgasm Lip Balm. Just something I'm trying to pan. There's that much left in it. I like the formula, but I don't like the shade of this one because it's very bubblegummy pink. So I like to use it as a lip prep. It's not really my shade, but it is like a nice thin formula. Now I'm gonna go in with my e.l.f. braiding concealer. So like I was saying, busy week coming up. It's like crazy to me that we're at our first birthday because this year has just been crazy. For bronzer, I'm going in with the Physicians Formula bronzer stick. It's hard to explain to someone, I guess, who's never had kids, but like the first year was the best year and kind of one of the worst years of my life. Like it's really hard having a baby. It's very scary and exhausting, and you know, you kind of like lose yourself and you like become a new person. I don't think you can really explain it to people. And I've seen some videos about people who like recently had babies being like, why didn't anyone warn me about postpartum? And I feel like it's hard to warn someone about something that's like so hard to put into words. For blush, I'm going in with the Flower Beauty Blush Balm in Nectar. I'm emotionally physically just drained 24/7. I mean, Phoebe was never a great sleeper, hasn't ever really been a great sleeper, so like the current sleep situation, while it's very annoying, it's not foreign to us. It's just like, it literally feels like a regression. It feels like every time we take one step forward with her sleep, we take 2 steps back. And you know, it's very hard to navigate the internet when there are so many, and I put the word experts in quotations right now. There are so many experts out there who like to tell you, this is what you need to do with your baby because this is this. Like, but the whole thing is like, babies are not one size fit all. So you can't say, put your baby down drowsy but awake, because guess what? That's not gonna work for everyone. That does not work for Phoebe. To do that with Phoebe, she needs to be like stone cold out. Stone cold. Or else it doesn't work. I'm using my e.l.f. highlighting stick that is in my project pan. I don't know. I feel like the internet loves to shame because, you know, America is very SIDS happy, and I don't mean that in like a disrespectful way, but you know, babies die of SIDS, and there's no formula to why babies die from SIDS, and they know potential ways babies can die from SIDS. So they say, if you do any of these things, your baby's gonna die. That's basically, I feel like, what they do when you're in the hospital before you leave. You have to watch like these videos, and it's like, if you do any of these things, your baby's gonna die. That's how they make you feel, because they want to, I feel like, scare you into not doing those things. And it works, but it's also very frustrating when you do things to try that people tell you to do, like, this is what you need to do to make your baby sleep. But if my baby's not sleeping, it's not good for my baby. So like, I mean, Scott and I co-sleep. We co-sleep with Phoebe. It is very stressful, not to us, co-sleeping, but it's very stressful knowing that there are people out there that say you shouldn't be co-sleeping because you're going to kill your baby. That's not why we co-sleep. Using this bareMinerals powder duo, it's very complicated. We never went into having a baby with the plan of co-sleeping. Like that that wasn't even in my like realm of like possibilities. Like, we had a bassinet, we had everything set up for this like perfect like system, and guess what? It didn't work. And guess what? We thought it was the bassinet, so we bought a second bassinet, and guess what? It didn't work. Phoebe just is a contact sleeper. She needs contact to sleep. She still is that way. And that's not her fault. She's a baby. That's just what makes her happy. Now I'm going in with this e.l.f. finishing powder. Pretty good pan in it. I'd like to finish it this year. So anyway, like, you know, what was very frustrating to me is in America, co-sleeping is very shamed. And I feel like for so long I was holding in the truth as to what Scott and I were doing because I was so scared about being shamed. However, it's very normal in other countries. And on top of that, after a few months of having Phoebe, I finally was able to find resources that had information about how to safely co-sleep. And it's very frustrating to me that in the beginning that wasn't available to me, and all I could find was everything that was wrong with what I was doing and how I was just going to hurt my baby. And that is extremely harmful. It is extremely harmful in America to have that kind of information out there. And every time we would go to the pediatrician the first few months of her life, I always had to like fill out some form that asked if Phoebe slept on her back, on a hard surface, in a bassinet, away from us. Like, I always had to answer that, and I always lied, because guess what? I didn't need to deal with being lectured about my baby dying on top of already having all that knowledge in my brain and having a baby who would not sleep in the way that the pediatricians want the baby to sleep. So I already knew all that. I didn't need to be lectured on all that. What I needed was actual helpful information about how to help my baby sleep the way that she sleeps. And I was able to find that eventually through different Instagram accounts that are baby sleep experts who do understand that there are babies who need to co-sleep. And they gave us lots of valuable information about how to help her in that environment, and that it's actually very normal. And America is just sleep training obsessed. I'm not saying you shouldn't sleep train your baby. Going in with the Maybelline Ultra Slim Brow Pencil, I'm saying sleep training was not for me. Sleep training, I don't think will ever be for me. I am somebody who is very triggered by sound. So being a mom in general is challenging for me because I function the best in silence. Obviously, I don't have a silent home. First of all, I live with Scott. You guys, if you watch my videos, he's not very quiet. But so for me, being in a very loud environment, my gut reaction is, how can I help make this situation better? And like, so when Phoebe cries, I respond, because that is what my natural instinct is. So that's why I know I could never do sleep training. Like, it goes against my natural instincts, and a lot about being a parent is going with your instinct and not necessarily reading everything on Google and listening to everyone tell you that you're going to kill your baby. Your instinct is to care for your child and not to kill your child. And if the only way Scott and I were able to start getting, you know, more than an hour of sleep at a time was to help her along the way, guess what? 3 more rested people is better than 0 rested people. You know, once we were able to get in a routine where we were really all able to sleep, of course these regressions don't help, but then it helped a lot with, I think, everyone's mood. I will say, still not 100% though over here, but it definitely made a difference. Now I'm going in with the Benefit Brow Setter that I've been trying to pan for a year, the Never Ending Brow Gel. I feel like though with postpartum, I am actually planning to go back to the doctor because I'm still having issues. I am having issues with these migraines. I feel like I've mentioned them in plenty of videos that ever since having Phoebe, I started getting migraines. I never had a migraine before having her, and now I get them constantly. And the last one lasted almost a week and a half, and that's never happened before. And that was like torture. To the point where like it starts sending like shooting pains down my neck, and I called my OBGYN and I have a telemed appointment on the 11th. You know, you can't just like get appointments anywhere, so you have to wait like 2 weeks. I'm gonna go in with this balm bronzer. It's just like, I think I thought like postpartum, like if you're not familiar with my journey, when I was pregnant at 20 weeks, they diagnosed me with placenta previa, and they tracked it the rest of the pregnancy. I had a ultrasound every 4 weeks following, and since the placenta did not move, I wound up having a C-section at 38 weeks. And everything went smoothly. I did lose a lot of blood from the C-section, and they did almost have to give me a blood transfusion, but everything turned out okay. For eyes, I have been using this palette, the Bailey Sarian Venice Flame palette that she did with Estate Cosmetics. And I just used the 3 center shades. And then actually to blend it a little bit better, I go in with the, which one is it? The Dim Light Ambient Lighting Powder from Hourglass. So I kind of thought like recovering postpartum was that, you know, 6 to 8 week window. I guess it's 6 for vaginal, 8 for cesarean, but no, it's a lot more than that. And I don't think I really realized that. And when I went in, I'm trying to remember, yeah, I think it was at 6 weeks, they went in to do my, because I think I had a 2-week appointment for them to check my incision, and then there was the 6-week postpartum exam. And at that exam, they had asked like how my mental state was doing. And for one, I feel like I didn't know about the baby blues. The baby blues did not hit me until I got home from the hospital. And I think that's because I was so upset being in the hospital after my C-section, because when I was in the hospital, Scott and I But besides not being able to have visitors, Scott and I were trapped in our room. So he could not leave the room. None of us could leave the room. All three of us were trapped in a room for 4 days together, which honestly, a hospital room is not a very comforting environment. So we had to knowingly bring everything that we would need for that many days. He couldn't leave the room. Like, even to get her out of the hospital, he could not bring the car seat up. So I had to bring her, he had to go get the car. I was rolled down by myself. He rolled the car up to the hospital, and I did not know how to put Phoebe in a car seat. And nobody checked our car seat. I thought that all hospitals do a car seat check. Nobody checked the car seat. We couldn't figure out how to get her in. It was extremely upsetting, and like everything about having a hospital stay where like you were trapped in that room and couldn't even walk out that door was so scary. Like, I remember after your C-section, one of the things they want to do is get you up and walking, and honestly I had no problem. I would say overall my experience with the C-section was positive. I know not everyone can say that. They got me up, I stood right up, and I walked over to the chair they wanted me to walk to, and then they wanted me to just sit in the chair for a while because I'd been laying in a hospital bed. I had no problem with that, except as soon as the nurse walked out the room, I said, Scott, I'm about to puke. And what he could not do was open the door and say, hey, she's about to barf. He had to call on a phone. Like, it was not a good experience, honestly. Like, I did not enjoy being there. And the minute they said that we could leave, we were already packed and we were out that door. So the baby blues did not even hit me until I got home, and it just like all the hormones and emotions finally hit that like this baby is like my responsibility, and like it was just very, very emotional. So at my 6-week appointment, they asked how my mental state was and like how I had been feeling, and I said, I'm really anxious. I'm an anxious person to begin with. I have always kind of had anxiety for as long as I can remember, and I have been on different types of medication throughout my adulthood. Currently, I hadn't been for a while, but one second, going in with the NYX glitter primer, but they said, why don't we put you on a very, very low dose of an SSRI? I think it was Lexapro. And I was like, fine, whatever, you could try it. And I think they put me on 5 milligrams. The first day I was on Lexapro, I couldn't get out of bed. I was so sick. And I was like, are you kidding me? I can't do this. I can't be stuck in bed. I have a newborn who needs me to take care of her. And I told the doctor, I was like, I can't do this. I have too much to do to deal with going on this medication right now. Like, it's not happening. I was like, maybe another time, but like, this is not happening. And I feel like it's not talked about enough that like postpartum anxiety, it's not just like a quick solution. Like, even if you want to go see a therapist, it's extremely expensive to go to therapy, let alone find a therapist that works for you. Like, I had gone to therapy back in college and I never found one that I actually even liked. And back then it wasn't the biggest deal, like trying new therapists, because at college, they don't charge your insurance to go to therapy. But imagine you're going through 5 therapists, just trying to find one that you can even start with to start making progress. Getting a therapy appointment to begin with here, it could take weeks, if not months. And not to mention every single copay that goes along with it. It's so expensive, let alone if I'm having some sort of mental health crisis, it means somebody else has to be taking care of the baby. I don't have time for mental health crises. And like, I don't think that part of postpartum is talked about enough, because even like doing something as simple as like getting quote unquote mental health help, it's a lot of time and money that I don't have when I have a newborn that needs help to be taken care of. Because guess what? She doesn't know how to work around my schedule. I work around her schedule. So I feel like something that like, I'm sorry, I'm using a Smashbox eyeliner. I'm getting very worked up. I'm just saying, I think that people try to make postpartum and postpartum help very black and white. Like, if you're doing great, great. If you're not doing great, oh, just get some help and you'll be good. Like, it's a lot more complicated than something so simple. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like I get very fired up about postpartum because I feel like I was very prepared with like essentials, like disposable underwear and really big pads, but I wasn't fully prepared for the mental and emotional toll that it was going to take on me. And I mean, Scott and I talk about it a lot, and like, we are more aware of how toddlers are. I have read a lot about toddler development. I mean, she's not quite a toddler, but like, she starts to do very toddler-esque things. And I can communicate to her, which is something you can't do with a newborn who is hysterical, and it's very scary. And I feel like I'm more prepared to be a toddler parent than I was to be a newborn parent. I will say it's also extremely helpful. Phoebe has gotten so good at communicating, which was not something I expected. It's one of those things where it's like we had such a rough newborn stage between her reflux, her acid reflux, I want to say lasted 9 months, her refusal of bottles, her refusal of drinking bottles. We were finally able to get her off a bottle and onto a cup, which, you know, made it so that it didn't seem like we were torturing her, you know, however many times a day she needed milk. I mean, just the mental toll of the bottle and the reflux, like we're ready for toddlerhood. We know what we're in for. I've seen lots of toddlers. I've had siblings that were toddlers. I know toddlers are not easy, but I feel like I have more tools in my belt for toddlers than I had tools in my belt for a newborn. Over like the last couple weeks, she has finally begun to pick up on a few sign language words that we've been working on since she was like 5 months, but it makes such a difference being able to communicate the smallest bit. She can pretty much parrot what I say, so a lot of animal sounds she can do now. If I make like a sound like boop, she'll say like boop. Like, she's very good at parroting. I just went with the Physicians Formula eyeliner. I'm sorry to keep getting so worked up. Now I'm going in with the Too Faced Love Flush blush and I Will Always Love You. Oldie. That being said, I mean, we definitely want to have another child, and it is very, very daunting to us knowing that we will have to go through the newborn stage again. I know every child is different. It could be much easier with the second, or, you know, the things that Phoebe was difficult at, the next child could be very easy at, but there were things that Phoebe was really great and easy with that could be complete nightmares with the second child. So we're very nervous to have another child. In conclusion, going in with the Becca, what is it called? Light shifter powder. So in conclusion, postpartum is a lot more than just bleeding in your pants for a couple weeks. And I mean, like, I knew that, but like I didn't know it, and I just wish I knew more going into it. Now I'm going in with the ambient lighting powder. I'm just like exhausted, like holding in things for so long about just like general things that we've been dealing with has been very difficult. And I would like the comment section to be gentle in this video, because guess what? You don't know who's reading your comments, and you don't want to hurt somebody else by saying something cruel, because other people besides me read the comments. I'm going with the Iconic London Prep Set and Glow. Now I'm using the CoverGirl Lash Primer. I didn't expect this video to go the way it went, but this is where my brain needed to just word vomit out. I appreciate everybody who's been so supportive of me over this past year. It's been very hard for me to have time to make content and edit content and respond to comments, and I know it's something I haven't been great at. I kind of see comments come through while I'm watching Phoebe. I see them all, but it is hard to respond when I'm taking care of her. I'm hoping in the next coming months she'll become a little better with independence. She's not great at independent play, so it's very hands-on when she's playing. Like, she is still learning how to kind of entertain herself, so to speak. I'm going with the Meet Matte Hues Patient liquid lipstick. I surely hope this is done soon, because I'm tired of using it and I just want to finish a liquid lipstick. Let me know what you're looking forward to this year. Any kind of specific content you want to see. I don't think I'm going to do a no-buy this year. I'm going in with the Maybelline Sky High, but I definitely have to go on an extreme low buy. I mean, we are a one income family at this point, and we don't have the influx of money that we once did. I still have student loans that I'm paying off, and it's a ridiculous amount of money. Absolutely ridiculous. Don't even get me started on student loans, because the amount I've paid versus what's due is gross. I also have been considering doing like big declutter videos. I kind of talked about this in a vlog clip. The vlog isn't up yet, but not so much like makeup declutter, but like home decluttering, because I feel like we're running out of room, and there's probably just stuff that's been sitting around for years untouched that can exit my life. And then finally the I&M Beauty Project lip oil. So that's something I'm just considering, but I don't know. Decluttering in general is like something I just kind of do very sporadically, so the thought of filming it, I'm not sure how I would do it, but I could try to figure it out. But overall, this is my go-to makeup look with all these products. It's much more fuller coverage than I had been wearing earlier in the year, but I think just like my natural routine is lighter in the summer-ish months, a little more full coverage in the cooler months. But yeah, that's the look. That's the video. Threw a lot at you. Maybe you guys are my therapist at this point. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments any kind of thoughts you have on anything I discussed in this video, or if anything in this video kind of you have interest in seeing like a full video upon it. I don't know, anything. Just let me know in the comments. And as usual, thanks for stopping by my channel. If you're new here, click the subscribe button and ring that bell for notifications. I have my Twitter and my Instagram down below. Give them a follow, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.